Okay, we're going to do a couple examples of completing the square, right? So this is like flashback to math class. So let's say you have, and don't, get upset because I don't remember all the names of all these things that math teachers has, right? I'm a physics teacher, not a math teacher. So I think this is a polynomial, right? So let's say you have something like this. It's a quadratic, right? Because x squared minus 6x plus a constant gives you 0. So we're trying to solve these by completing the square, right? So the first step you have to do is rearrange to get ax squared plus bx equals some constant. Okay, so I need to get the 4 to the other side, and that's easy. I can just subtract 4 from both sides. So now I have x squared minus 6x equals negative 4. Okay, once you've done that, your second step, you're going to add b over 2 squared to both sides. This is the completing the square part, right? So you have this number here, right? This is a, this is b, right? So that's a, that's b, and c is over here. So I'm going to add b over 2 squared to both sides. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So now I have x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals negative 4 plus 9 is 5. Okay, so now once you're here, it's easy. You can solve, right? So there's a couple steps before you go and solve. So you need to take this and you need to turn it into, oh God, I think I remember this is, I think these are called perfect squares, right? So this, you can write it as a binomial. These are called binomials, right? So this is x, what is this? X minus 3. X minus 3 equals 5. I think these are called binomials, right? Because 3 numbers would be a trinomial and then polynomials, right? So you want to get 2 binomials that are exactly the same to give you what I think is called a perfect square, right? And the reason it's a perfect square is because I can rewrite x minus 3 times x minus 3 as x minus 3 quantities squared. That's the point of doing this, because when I get to this point, I can do this, and then I can do this, and now, see, I only have one x, and I'm home free. I can solve, right? I couldn't solve before because I have x squared and x, right? It's a quadratic. You have to do some extra steps to solve a quadratic, right? So now that I'm here, I'm home free. I just need to get x by itself, right? So let's square root both sides to get rid of the square. So now I have x minus 3 equals plus or minus root 5, right? Remember, it's got to be plus or minus, because if I square some number, that number could either be positive or negative, and it's still going to give me a positive number, right? So I don't know if it's positive or negative, so I got to put the plus or minus. Okay, so now add 3 to both sides to get rid of the 3, and I have x equals 3 plus or minus root 5. That's my answer for this one. Okay, so let's try one more. Do the same thing. So first step, I'm going to rearrange to get ax squared plus bx equals c, right? So I need to add 3 to both sides. Plus 3, x squared plus 8x equals 3. Okay, so now, right, 2 is I add b over 2 squared to both sides. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. So now I have x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 16 plus 3 is 19. All right, so now I get my binomial perfect square thing, like some math teacher can get pissed off. I don't care. So it's x plus 4 times x plus 4. And the easy way to tell, right, the number that goes here after your x is just half of the number here. It's half of b, right? And the reason I squared it is to get the number over here. So when I FOIL x plus 4 times x plus 4, I'll get back to x squared plus 8x plus 16, right? So I just cut that number in half, easy way, or you can like think about it. Equals 19, right? Which is the same thing as x plus 4 quantity squared equals 19, right? Now I'm home free. So x plus 4, I got to square root both sides, equals plus or minus root 19. And now I subtract 4, so x equals negative 4 plus or minus square root of 19. That's my answer. So remember, for all of these, just follow the steps. First, you got to rearrange to get the c over to the other side, right? So you're just ax squared plus bx. And then you add that number with the x. You add half of that squared to both sides. And then from there, algebra.